Hi, everybody. Welcome to our X Space for this week. Today is June 12th, and let's get into some stats. The AUM is at 295.7 million. The Elephant M cap is at 133.1 million. The Treasury is at 21.9 million, and the Trunk supply is at 121.7 million. And also, the trading volume of Elephant Money is $411,966, which is a 57.5% increase from a day ago. Ed, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Josie. What's going on with you?
Nothing much. Just hanging out, living the dream.
I am having a rainy week. It's been like nonstop for the past few days. So,
is it all rain all day?
Yeah, it's gonna be all rain all day.
Oh.
I don't think we're getting any sun until like maybe Monday or Tuesday. So.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, every so often, the Sunshine State offers us some water, but the grass needed it. I was like, badly needed it.
Well, then, guess it's good. I'm used to South Florida. Whenever I'm there, it'll like have that burst of thunderstorms for like 20 minutes and then back to being sunny.
Yeah, we do have those times here and there. And like yesterday, it was like lightning, but you didn't hear any thunder, only a little bit. And then we never got anything, at least not where I was, kind of like went around you kind of stuff. So it scares you. So like, oh, the day's ruined. And then you don't see anything. And you're like, oh, that was a waste.
Oh.
So it's just hit or miss with Mother Nature down here sometimes, but always going to bring the heat no matter what. All right. So what's up, everybody? Your X Spaces for June 12th. It is being recorded as always. I actually have not talked to VT all day, so I'm not sure his plan. I would hope with the new lending thing going on, he comes in and gives us a little spiel. So until then, my quick little spiel before you guys can just start saying whatever you like. Don't forget, use request to speak, and then Josie will let you in. But I was mentioning last week, and I was like, I wanted to bring it up this week to see, in your mind, what is the most valuable asset you have in all of your crypto right now? If you could name it, go ahead and do that to yourself, of course. But what is that most valuable asset you have with all your crypto that you have now? And I actually say the number one thing isn't a specific token. It is actually the word trust, and it's got to be the most valuable thing you should need to have, especially in crypto. And the trust in BT and in the protocol. And here's why I think it's the most valuable asset. Because just for a minute, I want you to take away the asset, take away those tokens. And let's just say BT does something tomorrow to lose your trust of the community. Now, if you lost the asset and you lost the trust in BT, what would you have? I'm pretty sure you can't argue. You'd have nothing. Sure, you can rebuild and grow something back, but at the moment, you'd have nothing. And in a protocol and have no clue where it's going, that's why you need trust. And that's why when you're out there, each one teaching one, I want you to remember to add little things like that. It's not always just about, the charts and the numbers and the dollar value. You still need trust in the protocol and hopefully trust in the founder and the dev to know that, hey, if I do decide to put my money in something, I'm pretty sure I'm happy where I'm not going to be scared that something's going to go wrong all the time or that they're just going to take off with it. And that's why I make the argument that trust is the most valuable asset you have, any real investor in crypto. And it's kind of fascinating to think about because it doesn't really show up on a balance sheet. It's not really something you see, but you do kind of learn it and you kind of have to earn it too. And so let's just look at it like on a personal level, saying I don't believe that trust is a function of the quantity of the time you spend with the herd and with BT, but it's more the function of the quality of it all. And the difference is the quality of your experience, and that can be by the quality of the questions you ask. And I say the fastest way to build trust of any asset on any individual level is to ask really, really good questions and then listen and soak it all in, because it comes down to treating the herd like you would like to be treated. Ask good questions, then listen carefully to what they tell you with their empathy, understanding, where you're coming from. You might be scared from something you were in before, or you're just still learning. And so as a herd member and as admin, we need to earn your trust sometimes. And knowing that, hey, we're listening to you. We understand where you're coming from. We'll try to get you the answers you need. Because it's not like it's not trying to be like a sales technique. We're doing it because it's the right thing to do. We care about our community. We care about our future as a whole. And if it is the single most valuable asset is trust that we have, the way to build it on an individual level is to practice being trustworthy. And as an example of like just trusting us is when the herd gives you permission to communicate with you over and over, especially on like a DM. That's where you definitely need to have some trust, because you're looking for some help and you're like, should I really trust that person? Ask it if he can go on the side and have a chat with you. And you want to make sure they're actually a real admin if it is one of them. But if you're going to raise your hand and say, hey, I'd like to hear more from you, or I'm about to say that, you got to have that trust. And I believe this ecosystem has shown it over and over again. You've seen what happened with many things out there in crypto. They just disappear out of the blue. They take your money and you hear the new story. Oh, I heard this got rugged and all kind of stories like that. You've seen people try to clone our product. You've seen people try to clone Elephant, and look what's happened to those places out there. Some completely disappeared. Some tried to build up a giant community and make some MLM project, and what happened? The devs and the admin just took all the dang money. Some people made some, but they just took off. And that shows you the trust was never there. It wasn't there from day one, but you have that here with us, and you always will. BT will always tell it to you straight. He'll always tell it to you the way it is. Sometimes you might not even understand what he's saying, because it could be well beyond my knowledge of certain things like crypto and finance and coding and things like that. But he knows what he's talking about. And he's even, told you about his personal life. His daughter having her birthday not too long ago, and just things like that to show you that, look, he trusts you to give you his personal information. I hope you would trust him back. And as you can see, what we're doing, just the lending thing this week, he is always doing something to make sure this lasts a long time. And it's not just about him, it is about you. And remember, you are a business owner as well. So he wants all of us to succeed, and the longevity and the trust. And I hope you think that it is there. And I hope when I'm talking to you, you trust me. I don't really tell you a bunch of stuff that you would not want to trust me, but sometimes you don't even know me. A lot of you haven't even met me. I've only met a few of you. You see my videos, but that doesn't mean all of a sudden you trust person. So I want you to take a second when you're thinking of things and all those tokens you have in those wallets, and think about who actually is running this place, and can I really trust them? What are they actually doing out there? But I think you get that when you're hanging out in the herd and in our chat room and stuff like that. I think it's a pretty cool thing to have when I come in there every day. And when I'm talking to you guys, I almost feel like we have hung out together and we do know each other, because we talk so casually. And I'm not like in some of the chat rooms I've been in, I'm talking, but I'm always looking around like, what are they saying? How are they talking to me? Sometimes I have to look at their message history in a chat to see, are they really mean? Are they nice? Are they telling the truth? Are they just, blowing smoke up everybody? So a lot of times you have to like really, really look at stuff like that, but not in this chat. I know everybody that's been in for a long time, you can pretty much trust. And you can just tell by the way they're talking to you, especially when somebody's asking for advice, how they talk to you. Are they actually giving you the advice? Yeah, we have some people that like to give some smart ass answers and stuff like that. But for the most part, you can see people are genuine and trying to give you the best answer possible to help you understand the ecosystem. And I feel that you're only going to get that here in Elephant Money. And that's pretty much all I had to say. Just thinking about the trust you get here compared to everywhere else, especially the trust you could have in BT. I see CC Crypto Man. You're in here. Blackberry, what's up? CC, if you want to chat, I already let you in. If you want to say something.
Yeah, how you doing, my friend?
Hey.
Good to see you and other familiar faces here, other folks who are contributors and other folks who are members of the herd. And I agree with what you're saying. I want to just jump right into what you're saying because that way I know you don't feel like you're just speaking to an echo chamber. You are speaking to multiple people who feel the same way. You know, I just would not be putting time and energy into this project if I couldn't wrap my arms around it. I just don't have the time and energy to do that. You know, I'm a musician, and anyone who's a professional musician, or even if you do it a bit on the side, you know what it's like to pour your emotions and hours and hours into something that you do receive some joy from, but you also deal with emotional letdowns and things that don't quite add up, but you keep doing it. So I'm saying that to tell you that I could avoid this feeling in crypto if I wanted to. You know, I could just say I've already been through too much in life. I really don't want to deal with the ups and downs of the volatility of crypto or the uncertainty and the challenges therein where, you know, whales will coldly dump on a protocol and things like that. That is a horrible feeling, but we collectively talk about this and we share and we are a team and we deal with this together. Okay. I'm a huge sports fan, San Francisco 49er fan. They were getting pummeled in the championship game, not the Super Bowl, the championship game. And they went into the locker room and they looked at each other and just said, "We're good." That leadership was evident. They did not panic. They didn't start pointing fingers. They said, "We're good." And they went out there and won that game against a very tough Detroit Lions team. Very tough. And that's what I see what we do here with the herd is it's not just BT having to pull the weight of every emotional string, every chord. He doesn't have to do it all because we have excellent leadership, people who really know what they're doing. We're at who will speak. We speak life into each other, and that is really a major thing because we are involved in DeFi so that we can break out of whatever situation that we're in. And I've always had to have a day job. It's exhausting to have a day job and then do music as another career. I'm constantly having to juggle 2 or 3 jobs. I'm not complaining. I live an incredibly blessed life. But what I would like to do is be able to point more of my focus into being a blessing with my music. And I'd like to thank the people who are advanced, you know, because we have people who are like literally, you know, if I look at it like college or school or like math, we have people in here who are literally like math professors who are teaching, who could teach calculus. And then there are some of us in here who are just barely getting a grasp on algebra and everything in between. And the patience that is being shown to all of us. I'm like one of those who's learning algebra, okay? Now, if you want to sit down in front of me with a bass, and I'll sit there with a bass, I can show you 40 years worth of how to play that bass. We can start real basic. I can teach you how to play some complicated stuff, teach you how to play Tom Sawyer, how to play Iron Man, how to play, you know? But I don't know how to teach some of the things that people know. And I appreciate, and this is another sign when this lending and borrowing is coming out. I look forward to how the herd is going to step up and help other folks understand some strategies on what to do. Because frankly, for those of us who don't have a deep background, it kind of makes our head spin, and we're kind of trying to grab a hold of it. But we know we can take a deep breath and just keep watching, keep observing, keep learning, and know that we can take steps that will be helpful. We won't make terrible mistakes because we have people who are leading and guiding. And the other great thing is, and then I'll give up the mic to somebody else, is that I've never had to ask literally for technical support when doing something within the Elephant Money ecosystem. I've had to do that with so many other things. I have to get on technical support and then start getting out there where scammers are DMing me and all that stuff. But with Elephant, the way BT has designed his pages, I never have a problem getting to do things correctly. So, again, I just echo what you're saying. That trust is there. It's there for me and there for a lot of people. Thanks for hearing me out, guys. Got men and women alike. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you for jumping in, man. Love to hear what you just said. I agree with everything like that. And I think it was Shankar that said it the other week that said, you know what, we're running out of places. No, I think we're all good. Thanks. You're running out of places to find opportunities. And this is one of those places where you have that opportunity. And I hope people can believe in that and accept that and understand that all the places that may still be left off your opportunity, look at what you get while you're here. Look at the community you have while you're here and all the help everybody wants to offer you. And you may not be able to get that somewhere else, but you may think it's a riskier play. But I would say go with this one and listen to what the community has to offer you for help and understanding and your future. Hey, Shankar, what's up, man? I see you jumped in too.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
Good.
Good. Well, I really like the theme of today's X here, trust. And I kind of want to think a little bit about which components one would want to trust in Elephant Money. So we have the human side, which is the BT as the founder. Then we have the community, which is all of us. And then we also have mathematics and financial modeling, right? So let's talk a little bit about those three aspects. First of all, the founder, an Ivy League grad who studied advanced AI and graphics, a brilliant mind, and Elephant Money is his life's work. I mean, one would have to ask oneself, why would this man do anything that would compromise or jeopardize his life's work? He's doxxed. That means everybody knows who he is, and a lot of us have an idea where he is. He's going to meet us in Nashville. So there's absolutely, rationally speaking, absolutely no reason why you wouldn't want to trust him, because it just doesn't make sense. So that's the founder. Then we have this community, which is an amazing community. We're very multifaceted, and I like that. We are people who come from all walks of life, and we all ask different questions. We all have different levels of understanding of how this works. And that makes for a very good measure against things not working out, because questions are being asked. But most importantly, for the most part, like 99%, when I look at the tone and the feelings in Telegram, the chat is very positive, is very helpful. As you mentioned earlier, newcomers ask basic questions, and we always have someone who is willing to explain for the 100th time and to also share resources and whatnot. So that this community is not to be underestimated. And yes, you know, sometimes there are opposing views and there are maybe a little bit more heated discussions, but that is good as long as it's done in a respectful way. And then the third component, the financial modeling, the mathematics. I am not a mathematics college professor or anything, but I am quite good with numbers and I know some coding. So I, of course, have the big question that everybody has, you know, about sustainability and about moving, reallocating funds into different aspects of the system. And, you know, from what I can tell you, this is so brilliantly made. It is very much done with sustainability in mind. And again, why? Well, because the founder is someone who has a deep understanding of financial modeling, not only looking at his education, but also his professional experience, having done this for traditional finance for many years. So if we take all of those components together and we do what you're supposed to do in business, which is calculated risk taking, then I think we have very, very good reasons to feel very optimistic and to be very grateful for what we have here. And I would like to draw a parallel again against what you would do with a traditional bank, whether that is your local community bank or one of the giants. Would you ever feel compelled to see a need for so much transparency? Or would you, for maybe reasons that I just mentioned, say, well, you know, it's a Chase Bank or it's a whatever local bank. I'm sure they don't want to go bankrupt, and it's very reasonable for me to put trust in it, right? The beauty about DeFi is the transparency, but I think sometimes that can also be a blessing, a curse and a blessing at the same time, right? Because we feel compelled, oh, now, you know, we can all play financial modelists and, you know, we can all try an X-ray and scan everything and then we get carried away, you know, instead of focusing on what is clearly the path towards prosperity, and that is doing what BT calls the plays, right? He tells us what he thinks the plays are, and very likely following his word to the degree that it is healthy for our individual situations is not a bad idea. So yeah, those are my thoughts today. I'm very excited with the most recent developments. Again, when when votes are being taken to move funds around into different elements of the system, that is by no means to be seen as quote unquote stealing from a treasury or anything. No, this is strategic reallocation of funds to build up systems that most of us don't have the potential to fully grasp, simply because we don't have that education, right? But I can tell you that adding a lending and borrowing component to it, building up a position in a different blockchain, all of that has tremendous value, and everything is just done with the best intentions in mind for Elephant Money and its community. I have the fullest conviction to that, conviction to the degree that I'm not only committing my own funds, but those of my company, my friends, and my family. You know, if you do something for your family, then you trust it. That is at least my personal standpoint on this. So thank you, Hert, for showing up today, and thank you for giving me a platform to share my thoughts.
Always, Shankar, always. I think I wanted to ask you something, but first I wanted to touch back on the one thing you said about, the trust part. And, BT loves what he does. And when you do something like that, like you said, who would want to risk the reputation of that by, doing something bad or giving you some bad advice or bad direction? Or, he has said, look, you hear about all these meme coins. All somebody did was write a quick code and come up with a quick token, find a little bit of liquidity to try to attract some people. And then, they usually just take your money and run. And that's, for somebody that knows how to code, that just looks bad on them, that they really don't love what they do and they don't love doing what they do, but BT does. So we know that, and that helps a lot, knowing that that's a big reputation for him, especially for the places he's been and his, as a public person that he is too. You don't mess up something you got at MIT. He didn't learn how to do this out of some book on the internet. He actually went to MIT. Why would you want to sacrifice that degree and some other aspects of your life, even personal, not just professional, just to throw something out there that you couldn't trust? So that is another thing you guys need to think about. Say, listen, he loves what he does. And I do want to ask you, Shankar, about the lending thing. Do you know, I know zero about lending. So I am going to be I probably have the least amount of knowledge in the entire herd. So I know BT will have to be a little more detailed on it, but what have you learned so far in the past, 24 hours, that somebody that's trying to figure out what is all this about? What would you say as a new person coming in? What would you tell them? What is this all about? Lending itself, kind of thing.
Okay, I'm going to try to give an answer here. I'm just going to mention facts. So the fact is that if I go to solend.fi and I click pools at the top, and then I go and look at the third column that says total supply, and I sort everything by total supply, I can see that at the time of this recording, the USDC trunk pool ranks as number 6. So pool in total supply ranks as number 6 on what I understand to be one of the most prominent lending platforms on Solana. Now, if anyone here thinks that that will not, and if you look at those pools, by the way, all of the pools above us are comprised of a multitude of coins and also what looks like Solend coins and other like internal coins. But really, someone who looks at this and says, wow, what is that 6th position there? This nice green dot. And then, they get very curious. And of course, for people who like to play in lending and borrowing, next thing they will do is they will click and look at the details. And then they'll say, interesting. What is this trunk thing? And most likely the next part is they will go and look at the chart. And we have a very, very healthy looking, very impressive chart. And then they will do either one of two things. They will say, well, I'm going to buy some of that trunk since that looks great. Or they will say, this is an interesting pool. Let me deploy some of my resources and supply whatever most likely they will look at USDC and say, nice, 212 APR right now. I'm going to supply some of my USDC here to be part of this very interesting pool. And well, that brings with it a few consequences. Number one is attention from people who would otherwise most likely never stumble across elephant money. And number two, a whole separate borrowing and lending market and dynamics that is really designed to bring more volume and also to drive up the price of Trunk, right? So that is as much as I understand, and I'm sure there's more to it, but this is already a lot, and I've really just taken us through a series of facts and likely conjectures by looking at that platform.
Awesome. Thank you for putting some light on it, because I really had no light on it. I saw, BT start posting about things. I just didn't have time to be in the chat too much yesterday, so at least I finally got to ask somebody today about what's going on, and I'm sure he'll put an even bigger message out. I see unless he comes in the next few minutes, he's probably not going to make it today, but I'm sure we make.
Hey, can I say one more?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Sorry to cut you off.
It's all good.
I got to run to a meeting, but I wanted to quickly just jump in and say one more thing. Thank you, Shankar, for all that you do. You are so helpful every time you speak, and you're so thoughtful, and you are an example of the herd. BT completely cares about what he's doing, and so much of us agree with what you're saying. This is his life work, and it would just be no sense in him putting all this time and energy and to have any nefarious plots or plans in the background. And I'll tell you this, I mean, if we look at any past situations, and it's not just in crypto, but just in anything that people have done in the past that are major notorious situations where somebody turned out that they were lying and it went bad. Well, if you watch it, if somebody's made a documentary on it, and you interview, and they're interviewing people all along the way, people who are being interviewed who were employees of the company, like, when Elizabeth Holmes came out with that blood testing device that was not an actual blood testing device, and she had to go to prison. Well, you interview people who were working for her. There were the signs all along the way that things were wrong. Things were not right at all. And so people would be saying that all along this way because it's just too transparent, too intimate of a situation, and where there are too many people who understand finance and economics and how to run companies and how to be project managers who are contributing here to the herd. So true points on all of that. And Shankar just illustrated my point that the herd's going to step up and help us understand this lending and borrowing. And the last thing I want to say is this: make friends out there, folks. I have reached out to different people with whom I respect. I respect what they say. I say on the main chat, hey, I'm sending you a DM. And then I'll send them a DM, which is a personal question, because I'll ask them, what's your strategy for this? Or I'll say, hey, I have this going on. What are your thoughts? Because I don't know if I should move this money here or there. people are so cool about helping you, DeFi Springs and SK and Mike Dre and Stu and Jed. The list goes on and on of friends I've made. Greg Schultz, lots of folks I've made friends with. I'll ask them a quick question. They'll give me, I'll get a personal, just saying, hey, maybe do this, or you're fine. Just hold your, just chill, hold your funds right there. Because the hard part for all of us is that FOMO. It's hard to manage our emotions. You go, hey, something's happening. Am I missing out? And it's great to talk to experienced people. And they'll, a lot of folks will just say, no, you're good. Just relax. Just chill. Don't feel like you have to make a move now, because we want to know what we're doing before we make moves. So keep making friends within the herd, y'all. I can't say enough about it, because just in the last few months, I have been learning the lending and borrowing, which is something I never learned about, because I was in other types of things that were rug pulls and all this mess. Didn't understand this side of DeFi, which is exciting. But because of the friends I've been making, they've been teaching me about this. So now here we have Elephant Money getting involved in this. It's super exciting, and I appreciate the education that I'm getting that I used to never get while I was alone. All right, guys, thank you so much. I have to jump for a meeting. Take care. Have a great day.
Thanks, CC. Enjoy the rest of your day, man. Yeah, and like he said, make as many friends as you can. And I have noticed when I'm talking to people and I ask questions, they ask questions, the answers aren't always trying to be like, hey, how can I get money real fast? How can I make 2x in a week? Those aren't the answers we're giving people. We're giving people the answers that are going to help them long term. I've never I said, could it possibly what's going to be happening next going to move the price up by a 2x or something like that? And we say, yes, it can be, but that shouldn't be your focus as of, hey, when it gets there, get the heck out. We try to give people information to where you're in the ecosystem. And when you hear the word ecosystem, that is a whole thing going on, a big thing going on, and a long-term thing going on. So the info that I've seen people get, not just from me, but from others, has always been really awesome, because it's never been a community member helping somebody out and trying to make somebody a quick buck. It's always been, hey, this will happen. Take your time, relax. Some people have come in and said, hey, this thing just, 6x. Should I put my money in there? Because it already did a 6x. So listen, you're in the ecosystem and you're still early. And 6x is nothing. You were probably with 60x. We're just trying to explain to them that just what you see there, don't think you missed something and you missed a pump, or you got it, you're getting in too late. You are not. You are still pretty early, and I know BT would say it too. He likes to say early a better way than I can say it. But I say be greedy, and I don't mean be greedy by take things and leave. I mean, like, be greedy. If something's out there, go get it. Like, if there's cheap elephant, get it. If you don't have enough trunk, get it. DCA. That's what I mean about being greedy. And if somebody's giving you the opportunity, if some whale or somebody did a quick buy and a quick sell and made the price drip a little bit, dude, be greedy. Go buy it. You never have, and I say be greedy meaning you never have enough. That's what I'm trying to say. You never have enough elephant. You never have enough trunk. So I don't care what your wallet's like. Even Money Man, we know he's got a lot. He doesn't even have enough elephant or trunk yet. Shankar doesn't have enough Savannah. That's what I say. And and to digress, because that was a question I was going to ask you about that. When the votes come out with all these things, we know you have a lot of votes. So the lower, I'm trying to explain something to the lower people. Why should I vote? Because, a couple people, all they have to do is vote, and I might not want their vote, but I want to vote something different. But why should I vote if I don't even have enough votes to keep up with the bigger guys? So I didn't know if you wanted to say anything as far as, you know, what we tell somebody when we know you have a lot of votes, BT has a lot of votes. And I know you guys may talk a little bit and know what's best for the ecosystem.
Well, I think the long-term vision is for the situation to be where if you want to have an impact on this very amazing project, then that impact, that influence should not come too easy and too cheap. So naturally, to the degree that you are passionate about having your voice heard, you're gonna have to buy some trunk first and then convert that trunk into Savannah and then cast your votes. And then when you have cast your vote, you can maybe transfer it back into trunk or not. That's up to you. But I think it is a brilliant system, and it probably most likely will also naturally give some people a bigger voice who are first more invested and maybe also who have certain skills and knowledge pools that are needed to make those decisions. I am very proud that I hold all the Savannah, as opposed to some rumors in certain chats. I have not sold off my Savannah. But I also I can also say that I have not committed all of it into the voting platform because that's not necessary, and it needs to be a healthy balance, right? But I do think they always say democracy is the least imperfect system, right? And I think this is the attempt to the best of BT's ability to make this a healthy democracy.
Yeah, I agree with you. And he sent some pretty good messages regarding that too, to trying to give everybody a chance. And, you know, if you want to say, buy some Savannah.
And there's interesting books written about the theory of decentralized autonomous organizations. I mean, if you're really interested in it, I have started educating myself, and it's really interesting because you can tell, you know, everything that elephant money is, and that the way BT structures everything is not like that is taken out of thin air. That is all based on existing knowledge that is researched and well thought through, you know, and he takes that and implements it. And as so often in life and business, is not really having the idea that is the biggest aspect, you know, but it is implementing it and getting a community behind it. That is what truly makes a difference, you know. Yeah, I did want to mention one more word about one thing more concrete about the borrowing and lending, just because I think it's interesting. I'm just gonna share what I have personally tried. I'm running a little experiment, and it's not even. I've seen that in. I've seen BT allude to that in the chats. So I'm not saying at all that anyone should go and do this, but I'm running a mini experiment. So what you can do is you can use your trunk and supply it in the pool. And then, you know, what most of us would think is that you would have to borrow the the currency on the other side, USDC, right? But that is not true. You can actually supply Trunk and then borrow a little bit of Trunk. So what I did is I supplied some Trunk and then borrowed about $10,000 worth of Trunk. And I brought that through the wormhole back to the BNB site and added it into Trumpet. Why would you do that? Well, the price of borrowing Trunk on Solend right now is 5.9% APR. And on the Trumpet side, last time I looked on June, public information, the APR is 71%. And the little bit 5% entry in and out fee into Trumpet seems to be easy to overcome with a little bit of patience. So it sounds like the math is in favor of doing that. And by doing so, you do not only help yourself, but you also tremendously help Trunk because, you know, Trunk is locked up. First of all, it is taken out of the liquidity pools, which we like because then the price goes up. And it is also locked up in Solend and in Trumpet, which means it is safe from weak hands, right? Yeah, so that's just, I decided to share what I'm doing. Again, I don't claim that is smart. I don't say at all you should do it, but that is one mini experiment that I did with a sum that is healthy for my position.
Awesome. Thanks, man. I was hoping to just get a little more info on how you're doing that. And when I was actually confused because I did hear BT go, because I'm used to hearing people say, all right, you put, for example, Trunk and USDC, and then you borrow one. But when I heard him say you can put Trunk in and borrow Trunk, I was all confused. I was completely confused. Oh.
Yeah, it was a surprise to me too. I'm myself new to the world of DeFi lending, but it's what I just outlined, at least in theory, seems to be a very interesting strategy. But I'm going to give it a little bit of time to see how it plays out and see if I get confirmation that it was indeed a smart strategy.
And I'm sure we're going to get a handful of strategies on the best way to do things. And we know BT has a strategy too. So, these are all just, words of wisdom from us to you. You take it however you like it, because we're never telling you what to do with your money. We're just telling you what we are doing. And it's up to you if you want to follow us, to come up with your own idea or do whatever. So it's what happens when we hang out with the herd. We have all these different people, all these different angles of things, and some of them are really great. So it's always good to hear everybody's perspective on it, and lets us do our own research and see how we can go on with it. Oh, I do want to do the NFT. BD is going to win the NFT today. That's Brian Daly Photo. You can give me a little thumbs up or something if you're listening right now. Let me know you heard that. Contact me direct and we'll get you the NFT. BT hasn't delivered them in, I think, a few weeks, so it's a little bit of a few addresses that have to get their NFT. But congrats to BD, and thank you for tuning in. I've checked your X or your Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I noticed that you do repost some of our things, so appreciate that. We would appreciate it if everybody in here, reposts everything that we do. Anything you see the Elephant Money Twitter page do, repost it. Maybe add a comment to it, all that kind of stuff. Whatever it takes, the more. Thanks, BD. I saw that one. The more, the better. Make sure you're using the right tags for it as well. I mean, if you want to get trending, we need some more tagging going on for sure. And just if everybody in here tonight was tagging, we would have a good amount too. I try to repost when I can. I don't always see when it pops up. I got to get some more notifications so I can see when the Elephant Money Twitter is working. Copy something from our Facebook, copy something from an article somebody wrote on Medium, copy some YouTube links, post them on X, and just get the content out there. If you do post something from any of those other places, make sure you are using the hashtags and whatever the heck you're using to make sure we are tagged some way or another. If anybody else wants to jump in, feel free. If not, we only really have 8 minutes left anyway. I don't mind dumping out of it early and before it dumps on us. It knows it likes to. I think last week it got me. Usually doesn't get me when I'm talking, but I think it got me for the first time in many months. If not, Shankar, anything else you want to add?
I like to start my day with counting my blessings and naming things I'm grateful for. And I think, we should definitely name elephant money at this community often. We really should be grateful for what is given to us, because it is just, I don't know about how you all, but when I discovered elephant money, my worldview changed within a few weeks, and definitely I'm very grateful for that.
We are definitely grateful you're here, because you've helped out a lot of people, and you help out in here every so often on spaces and in the chat. And now you mention it, if you think about your life before Elephant Money and then after, especially if you've been in here a long time, how things have changed. Just even if your lifestyle, whatever you used to do when you weren't in the Telegram or you weren't seeing the posts, or maybe your money itself, that you weren't having the best luck with your money, or you were still kind of all over the place what to do, trying to find that spot. I just want to find that one spot. It's been so long, I haven't had the best luck, and look what happens if you're in Elephant Money. I can't even tell you, in the past year, we've had contracts at over 100x. We've had a token that's almost 20x. We've either way, you've done so well just in the past 365 days in Elephant Money that I could think your life has changed pretty good just by hanging out in here and feeling a little bit more comfortable with your financial situation. If you've listened to what we posted, what we've said, what we've pinned, and the products we've put out, I think you're in pretty good shape if you're hanging out here right now. So anybody that's part of the herd, thank you for being here. Hope to see you in the chat in a little bit. We're going to be back next week with another Spaces, and do my best to drag BT in here for it. Don't forget about Nashville, July 25th, 26th, 27th. That's when Elephant Money has their first big event. We're going to be at the Justin Timberlake's bar there on the 26th, that Friday afternoon is when we're having our event. I'm coming in on Thursday. I'm leaving on Saturday. So it's we're going to probably do some other stuff that's around, but our main event is on that Friday, and you can go on, I think it's Eventbrite, to grab your tickets. And I think it's like $50. And if you have the black NFT, you are going to get a special little something for sure while you're there. So I hope to see everybody there. I know about 10 people so far, I think I've been waiting to see and talk to for a long time. So I can't wait to hang out with you guys. Thank you, Shankar. Thank you. CC already jumped out, but thank you, BlackBerry, for coming in. Always love your stats every single Friday. Cannot wait to see this week. And I think we're going to wrap it up, Josie. So I hope you have a good time there in New York. I'm going to go get my umbrella out. And you guys just have a great day. And thank you for being part of the herd. I'll talk to you guys later.